show when I won't be your conductor for today's trip. So go ahead and sit back, relax, enjoy the sights and sounds as I tell you a little bit about the history of the Madera Sugar Pine Lumber Company and the natural history of our forest. All the equipment here on the spur line, including the tanker car, the snow plow, the speeder, our two steam locomotives we operate, and even the car we're riding on today have all been purchased from the Westside Lumber Company out of Chihuahua, California. Chihuahua is about 100 miles to the north here, and in their operation they were running steam locomotives well into the 1960s. Logging began in the Sierras in 1874 with the California Lumber Company. Then in 1899, the Madera Sugar Pine Lumber Company opened operations, and they became the largest and most profitable lumber company in the West up until they ceased operations in 1931. Chinese laborers that worked for 10 cents an hour, 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, using nothing more than pigs, axes, shovels, and mules to remove the dirt. To give you an idea of how much dirt they removed, take a look up on the sides of the ridges. All of that dirt comes down here. Now the next tree I'd like to tell you about would be the white fir. It's the tree with the 1-inch needles and the evenly horizontal branches. It's related to the red fir and the Douglas fir, but you folks may recognize it as the Christmas tree. hikers, mountain bikers, and occasional town fires, just in case any wildfires happen to break out. Is Spanish for little apple. In the summer months, these trees produce a little berry the Native Americans would harvest to make a cider drink. Now, right below those trees, on most of the ground cover, you'll notice a green plant. That's known as bear clover. Bear clover was hated by the loggers because after all day working around it, it would leave a smell on their clothes that was next to impossible to get out. Considering they'd only wash their clothes about once a week back then. So they nicknamed this plant Mountain Misery. But the Native Americans in the area had a different use for this plant. They'd harvest the leaves, brew a tea out of it. When they felt they had a stomach and headache, they'd drink it. We now know this plant contains salicylic acid, which is the active ingredient in aspirin. Company to transport their men up and down the track a lot faster than the locomotive could. Top speed on this car reaches up around 30 miles per hour. They were also used for ambulances and fire trucks. They would ride behind the locomotive and put out any fires that may have started behind it. All 5 Shea locomotives the lumber company operated were fueled by wood. They burned about a quart of oak wood every hour. Which brings us to our next tree I'd like to point out today. It's the only oak tree that goes at this elevation, and that's known as the California black oak. And its leaves look very similar to a maple leaf. Company employed about 800 men during its operation. Labor received 10 cents an hour, skilled labor 30 cents, and lumbermen were paid according to how many trees they cut down. Once they felled those trees, they were drug up the mountain using a donkey engine, which was similar to a winch, then loaded on flatbed rail cars and transported back